So regarding the average period method related to quarter one, okay, if partner withdraws some amount of money in the beginning, in the middle, or at the end of the quarter, then how we are going to treat? You can see the question on your screen. I have written the question here. Let's read that. Calculate interest on drawings of Mr. Sudhir at the rate of 15% per annum for the year ended 31st March 2017 in each of the following alternative cases. Case 1. If he withdrew rupees 12,000 in the beginning of each quarter. If he withdrew rupees 12,000 at the end of each quarter. If he withdrew rupees 18,000 in the middle of each quarter. Alright, so let's start that. Case 1. Very first we need to understand the meaning of quarter. Quarter means period of 3 months. Okay, and this period of 3 months is there 4 times in a year. Alright, so if you want to divide the complete year in the quarters, then how we can divide? I just write down the months over here. So if you want to divide the complete year into the quarters, there will be 4 quarters. The first quarter will be January to March, and second will be April to June, third will be July to September, and fourth will be October to December. Okay, now let's consider this example. Case 1 says that if he withdraws the amount in the beginning of each quarter, means very first we need to calculate the average period. Okay, and what is the formula for average period? Months left after first drawing plus month left after last drawing divided by 2. Alright, so let's see here. He made first drawing on 1st January in the beginning of each quarter. Okay, he made last drawing on 1st October. Now we need to calculate the months from this only. Okay, from 1st January we see for the complete year, then 12 months are left, right? And from 1st October if we see till 31st December, there are 3 months left. October, complete October, November and December. So it becomes like this. Okay, 15 by 2 means 7.5 months. Now total amount withdrawn. So he withdrew 12,000 in the beginning of each quarter. And how many quarters? Only 4. Remember here we are not supposed to multiply with 12 because he is withdrawing in each quarter. Understood? Okay, so that will be 48,000, and you know very well interest on drawing how it is calculated. 48,000 multiply, what is the rate of interest here? 15,500, and the average period 7.5 divided by 12. Let's calculate that. 4,500. Alright, this case we have done. Now we need to do the second case. If he withdrew rupees 12,000 at the end of each quarter. Okay, no problem. At the end of each quarter means his first drawing was there on 31st March. Okay, and the last drawing was there on 31st December. Now let's calculate from here. We need to calculate very first average period here. Months left after first drawing. How many months are left? From 31st March if we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 months are left, complete months, right? Okay, and from 31st December if we see, then 0 months. Now, total amount withdrawn. How much amount? 12,000 he withdraw. Multiply 4 here because it is there in each quarter. So 48,000, and interest on drawings 48,000 multiply rate of interest, that is 15%, and 4.5 divided by 12. Alright, so we just need to calculate it. 2,700. That is the case at the end of each quarter. Now let's learn the third case. If he withdrew rupees 18,000 in the middle of each quarter. So we need to calculate average period here very first. Let's see. Middle of each quarter means if we see out of 3 months, then 1.5 months. 1.5 means 15 February. On 15 February he will make the first drawing, and he will be making the last drawing on 15 November. Okay, so from 15 February to 31st December, how many months are there? 10.5. You can calculate that. and from 15 November to 31st December, how many months are there? 1.5, that is 6 months. Okay, now total amount, we withdrew 18,000 per quarter, so means 72,000. Now interest on drawing, 72,000 multiply 15 by 100 multiply 6 by 12. Now let's calculate that. That is 5,400. So this is also done. So this was about when the partners withdrawing the amount on quarter basis, either in the beginning of the quarter, in the end of the quarter, or in the middle of the quarter. Now the same case can be there in case of half years. How? I just show you. So regarding the half yearly question, there are two questions, because the questions can be there in two types in this case. All right, so very first type we are going to discuss. You can see the question related to that on your screen. I have written the question here. Let's read the question. Calculate interest on drawings of Mr. Kukreja at the rate of 10% per annum for the year ended 31st March 2018 in each of the following alternative cases. Case 1, if he withdrew rupees 20,000 in the beginning of each half year. Case 2, if he withdrew rupees 40,000 at the end of each half year. Case 3, if he withdrew rupees 30,000 in the middle of each half year. Alright, so let's start. Case 1, see here, in the beginning of each half year. Alright, so there are two parts. This is first half year and this is second half year. Alright, so this first half year will start on 1st January. Okay, and this will start on 1st July. Okay, so in the beginning of each half year, so very first drawing he makes on 1st January. Alright, so if you want to calculate the average period, then months left after first drawing, how many months are left? Complete 12 months. So we write down 12 here. Now the last drawing will be made by him on 1st July, and how many months are left? 6 months are left. So 9 months is the average period. So what will be the total amount that he will be withdrawing overall? How much he was withdrawing? He was withdrawing 20,000 in each half year, means he could make the drawing only 2 times. So that was 40,000. We need not multiply here by 4 or 12. Understood? So we need to read the question according to that will behave. So interest on drawings, 40,000 multiply, what is the rate of interest in this question? 10% per annum. 10 by 100 multiply 9 by 12. Let's calculate that. Alright, so that is 3,000. Okay, that is the very first case in the beginning of each half year. Now let's attempt the case 2. If he withdrew rupees 40,000 at the end of each half year, no problem, at the end of each half year means he will make first drawing on 30th June and he will make the last drawing on 31st December, means last of the each half year. Understood the point? Okay, so average period will be months after first drawing. He made first drawing on 30th June, so there are 6 months, and he made the last drawing on 31st December, so there are 0 months. So that is what? 3 months only. Average period. Understood? Okay, now total amount, he withdrew how much? 40,000, and he could withdraw 40,000 only 2 times in a year, so that is 80,000. Now interest on drawings, 80,000 multiply rate of interest, that is 10 by 100, and then average period 3 by 12. Now just calculate that. That is only 2,000. So this is the second case at the end of each half year. Now let's study about the third case. What it says, if we withdrew rupees 30,000 in the middle of each half year, no problem. Let's attempt that. Now let's understand middle of half each year. So we need to calculate average period here. Middle means, see, if we want to divide 6 months in 2 parts, then what do we get? 3 months each. Okay, so the 3 months complete here. 3 months means 31st March. Okay, that is what the middle. Whether you take it 31st March or you take it 1st April, there will be no difference. Okay, but better you keep it 31st March. So he makes first drawing on 31st March. In the second half year, the date will be 30th September. Alright. So whether you take 30th September or 1st October, it will not make much difference. Okay. So the very first drawing he made on 31st March. So how many months are left? 1, 2, 3 and total 6. So 9 months were left. Plus he made last drawing on 30th September. How many months are left? 1, 2, 3. Only 3. That is again 12. Means 6 months. Okay. Now total amount. What amount he withdrew? 30,000. He could withdraw 30,000 only 2 times. So that is total 60,000. What is interest on drawing? Now let's calculate that. On 60,000, rate of interest is 10% and the average period 6 by 12. Just calculate that. 3,000 only. Okay, so these 3 cases were related to half year. Okay, but I told you that there are 2 variety of question related to half year. One variety we have discussed here, another variety we are going to discuss within a moment. You can see the question on your screen. So I have written the question here. You can have a look. Aman, Raman and Chaman started a firm on 1st October 2018, sharing profits equally. Aman withdrew regularly rupees 8,000 in the beginning of every month for the 6 months ended 31st March 2019. Raman withdrew regularly rupees 8,000 at the end of every month for the 6 months ended 31st March 2019. And Chaman withdrew regularly rupees 8,000 in the middle of every month for the 6 months ended 31st March 2019. Calculate interest on drawings at the rate of 5% per annum for the period ending 31st March 2019. This question is different from the previous question. Why? Because in the previous question, the conditions were given that the drawings are being made in the beginning of, in the middle of, or at the end of each half year. But here the question says that the drawing is being made either in the beginning of every month or in the middle of every month or at the end of every month, but for only 6 months. Means earlier we were taking the complete 12 months year. Here we will take only 6 month year, that is half year. Understood the point? And from which month to which month we need to do, we that we'll see from this date. Okay, because the business was started on 1st October 2018 and we need to do the accounting up to 31st March 2019. Let's see here. So this is the time period they are talking about. These are total 6 months. Understood? So let's start with first case, that is of Aman. So what Aman does, let's read once again. He withdrew regularly 8,000 in the beginning of every month. Okay, for 6 months. Means total amount he is withdrawing 8,000 multiply 6 means 48,000, right? And he is withdrawing that amount in the beginning of every month. Means he is withdrawing on 1st October, okay, 1st November, 1st March, like this. Now let's calculate average period. Months left after first drawing. First drawing was made on 1st October. Okay, now how many months are left after that? Complete 6 months. Months left after last drawing. Last drawing was there on 1st March, and when we are going to complete this year on 31st March. So 1 month is still left. 7 by 2 means 3.5 months. That is the average period. Okay, now we can calculate the interest. 48,000. What is the rate of interest? 5%. Let's calculate that. That is 700. Alright. Now let's move on to another case, that is of Raman. So Raman, what Raman did, he withdrew regularly 8,000 at the end of every month for the 6 months. For the 6 months means 8,000 multiply 6, total amount he withdrew 48,000, right? Now average period will be calculated according to this. At the end of every month means the first drawing was made by him on 31st October and the last drawing was made by him on 31st March. Alright, now let's see average period from 31st October, if we see how many months are left in this year, 5 only. And from 31st to 31st, 0, that is 2.5 months. Okay, so now interest on drawing will be 48,000 multiply 5 by 100 multiply 2.5 by 12. Alright, now let's calculate that. So that is 500. Okay, so this is the second case of Raman. Now let's move on to third case, that is of Chaman. So Chaman withdrew regularly rupees 8,000 in the middle of every month for the 6 months. Means Chaman also withdrew the same amount for 6 months, that is 48,000 total amount, average period. Okay, he withdrew that in the middle of every month. So very first he made the drawing on 15th October and the last drawing on 15th March. So if we calculate from 15th October, then how many months are left? 5.5. And if we see from 15th March, that is 0.5, means 6 by 3 months. That is the average period. So 3 by 12, 48,000 multiply 5 by 100 and 3 by 12. Let's calculate that. That is 600. Okay, so this is the another case. Understood? There is a difference. Here we took only half year as the complete year. Okay, and every month they were withdrawing. In an earlier question, they withdrew only 2 times in a year. Understood? So the question can come in this form as well. So don't get confused. That's why I have taken 2 of the variety of the question on this. Okay, now let's move on. Now the last two cases related to interest on drawing. Okay, very first case, that sometimes in the question it is written, say for example 10% per annum, or we call it 10% per annum. Okay, if it is given. Sometimes in the question of interest on drawing, okay, it is written only 10%. So there is a difference between that. Okay, if per annum is given, it means that is yearly. Okay, so in that case time factor will be considered. Okay, but here per annum is not given, right? So here time factor will not be considered. All right, one point. If the per annum word is not attached to the rate of interest of drawing, then time factor will not be considered. Directly on the amount we will calculate the percentage. Okay, we will ignore the time. Understood? One rule. Another rule, this is about this is done. Now about this time factor will be considered, right? But what if the question says the rate of interest is 10% per annum, but it does not specify any time period? Because as many questions we have done, it was clearly mentioned there that in the beginning of every month, in the beginning of each quarter, in the beginning of each half year. Say for example that the question does not have that kind of condition. They have simply mentioned that a person withdrew this amount during the year at the rate of 10% per annum charge rate of interest. So in that case, what happens? Interest on drawing is calculated considering the time factor, and in that case the time factor is on an average taken 6 months. All right, the average period on an average is taken as 6 months. Fine. Already we have tackled this point in the previous video that was related to profit and loss appropriation account. I think it was the last question. Okay, so I promised you to explain at the time of the video of interest on drawing. So here it is. Understood? So there comes 2 rules out here. One, when the PA means per annum is not mentioned, only rate of interest is mentioned, time factor is ignored, directly on the amount it is calculated. And another, when rate of interest is given, per annum is also given, and time factor is not given, but it has to be considered. In that case it will be taken as 6 months on an average. Understood? So let's understand that very minutely with the help of one question. So you can see the question on your screen. I have written the question here. Let's read that. Calculate interest on drawings of Mukesh for the year ended 31st March 2019 in each of the following alternative cases. The very first case is if his drawings during the year was rupees 60,000 at the rate of 5% per annum. You can see that no date is mentioned, only during the year it was given. Alright, and 5% per annum means this is this case. Per annum is also given, time factor will be considered but it's not given. Okay, so that is why 6 months on an average which will be considered. So how we are going to solve that? 60,000 multiply 5 by 100 and 6 by 100. You can mention in the note 6 months has been taken as average period. Alright, now let's calculate that. 1,500. Alright, now let's move on to another case. If he withdraws rupees 5,000 during the year at the rate of 5%. Case 2. Interest on drawing in that case. What is the amount? 5,000. And the rate of interest 5%. So what is the calculation? That is 250. So this is all for interest on drawing. See you in the other video for the other concept. Thank you.